Biscuits and Blurays podcast, where we watch Blu-rays, and guess what? The biscuit gets taken. I'm in a good mood tonight. I've rewatched it.
I fucking know.
Yeah. I'm your host, James. Jade's here.
Look.
I feel like your intro gets downgraded each time. Because first time I was like, can you new co-host Jade? And then it was like, co-host Jade. And then it's just like, Jade's here, say hi Jade. And then it's like, here's Jade.
Well, that's the thing, I'm your co-host in general. Everyone knows.
I'm not going to introduce you anymore. I'm just going to let you do it yourself.
Alright
just chip in whenever you feel like you want to say hi.
I'm going to do your intro for you.
You're fucking not.
Oh, why?
We put it to a vote. We've got an extra episode this season. Mm-hmm. And I thought, hey, I'm going to put it to a vote. So what I did is I put it on a Sunday stack. I did a top 10 films I'd like to do on the podcast, and I let people vote. And then it was a tie.
I was so mad.
It was a tie between Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, I love it.
And Babylon. Well, spoiler alert for which one won. It was Puss in Boots. Surprise! It's the Puss in Boots episode. No, it's Babylon. It's Babylon.
Oh yeah, yay, Babylon. Oh.
Why don't you like Babylon?
For starters, it's too fucking long.
Yeah, okay, alright,
it's
okay.
so long.
For those who don't know, Babylon came out in January.
It was a 2022 release, though, wasn't it? But did it come out in England?
England. We got it in January, so it was the big Oscar push. I think it was the first one. They always do an Oscar thing at the start of the year.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
And this was one of them. Didn't do well, did it?
It didn't do very well, and poor Margot Robbie. She also had Amsterdam that had just completely flopped as well.
Amsterdam.
Damn, that film is shit.
Oh god. I do feel sorry for Margot over those last few months.
Yes, everyone was really worried after both those films came out, because it was obviously before we got a proper Barbie trailer, thinking, oh shit, what's going to happen to Barbie? And obviously, as we can see, Barbie's just complete juggernaut.
Yeah, Barbie's fine.
And that's done amazingly.
But Margot's fine. This is fine.
I think there were questions, though, at the beginning of the year as to whether or not she would be.
I don't think that was ever in trouble.
I don't know.
So it's directed by Damien Chazelle.
Chazelle.
He did Whiplash, he did La La Land, and he did First Man.
Well, you love all those films. So.
I haven't seen First Man.
Have you not?
No.
Don't.
Have you seen it?
Maybe this is a recurring theme for me, because I didn't like Whiplash initially. It took me a couple of... I know you hate me now. It took me a couple of watches of La La Land to really start to enjoy that as well. So maybe Babylon may grow on me more. I don't know.
Maybe it will.
Maybe.
But it's 3 hours, and I've watched it... I've not done the whole 3 hours. I've had to do it in 2 installments of an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because... ain't nobody got time for that.
No one got time for that.
Not in this day and age. And you haven't rewatched it at all.
I have not. So when I came back from Barbie last night and you got it on, luckily you got on the bit that I like at the beginning, because you'd already got past all the orgy crap at the beginning.
Which bit do you like at the beginning?
When she starts walking through the different movie sets.
Yeah. I think I know which bit you mean.
Yeah, we see all the different film studios.
Oh, it's her first day on set.
Yeah. I quite like that bit.
Yeah.
It's one of probably two my favourite parts of this. That's probably one of them that I really liked. So that's when I kind of caught on. So I watched it for a bit with you, and then was like, yeah, we're going to go film.
I was like bored.
Yeah, no.
And then we did Exorcist.
We did The Exorcist, yeah.
And so I've rewatched the second half. The second half is nowhere near as good as the first. There, I said it. However, I think this is a masterpiece.
Oh my god, you're so wrong.
You know what?
It's
I'm
not.
like a monkey in a zoo. I put a masterpiece in my hand and I fling that word everywhere I can. And I don't care who sees it. Like, that film's a masterpiece. And that film is a masterpiece. I mean it on this one.
I wish people could see your jazz hands that are taking place right now.
Well, this film is very bloody jazzy.
It is very jazzy, because it's set around the jazz age.
It's between the 20s.
It's the roaring 20s, isn't it?
What? The roaring 20s?
Yeah.
Rawr. So, it's about the film industry and how it evolves from the 20s to the 30s. Mm-hmm. That's a short space of time.
Yeah.
But a lot happens in it.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of the silent movies. You know, the way you do it's like a piano plays, and then someone talks, and then the card comes up with what they said.
With what they're saying, yeah. Very Charlie Chaplin-y, very,
Chaplin-esque, yeah, sort of stuff. But then...
the jazz singer came out and changed everything.
Sound.
Talking pictures.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's the thing. It was it killed a lot of careers for people in Hollywood at the time. Mm-hmm. Because it changed the audiences as well that actually came to watch cinema.
This hasn't tread new ground, Babylon, because we've had films about this subject before.
We haven't. I'd argue they did it better.
Which ones are you thinking
Singing
of?
in the Rain.
Okay.
Singing in the Rain is an absolute classic.
Well, all of this is a big love letter to Singing in the Rain. I think
they end with it as well, don't they?
They end with Singing in the Rain, yeah.
So yeah.
But I think that's one of Damien Chazelle's favourite films.
As it should be, because that is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Singing in the Rain, just
watch
pause.
It.
No, just pause this. Just pause it right now. Go watch Singing in the Rain and come back. Okay, I'll give you 3 seconds. Wasn't it good? Wasn't Singing in the Rain good when we paused it just now?
Yeah.
I'm going to time that and make sure that is
Make
3
sure
seconds.
it's 3 seconds.
Yeah,
if not, you're going to cut bits in to make sure it is.
But Singing in the Rain, it deals with people who don't have a voice for movies. Turns out they sound pretty horrible. Hey, Peter, Very Lois Griffin. And it goes into a lot of stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
But the one I was thinking of was The Artist. Do you remember The Artist?
I remember The Artist, but I've never seen it. It's black and white, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I nearly watched it during lockdown, but I ended up watching a different French film about a dog, which was so much
better. Are you
better.
sure it wasn't The Artist?
No, I think it was called Sebastian and Belle. It ended up being really good, by the way.
Okay.
But I don't know how I ended up watching it.
But Belle and Sebastian is a Scottish band.
No, this is definitely about a dog.
Okay. I think you dreamt that.
I did not. I'm going to fucking Google this.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about that. We're talking Babylon.
Babylon.
So, it stars Margot Robbie, it stars Brad Pitt, it stars a pretty stacked cast in terms of, no one else living up to that sort of having the name above the title sort of thing.
Yeah, no, the two biggest stars that really shine in this are those two.
However, cameos do happen. We do get quite a few. I'm not going into who they are, but it's stacked.
It really is.
Yeah. There's a few other minor players as well. There's a guy called Manny, the character called Manny. He's like a busybody. Diego Calvas. I think this is one of his first films, actually.
Oh, is it?
I think so, yeah.
His arc in particular was really moving.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do.
Well, okay, so you've got Jovan Adepo as well, and Gene Smart's in this. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is in this.
Oh.
Do you remember Flea?
No.
If I show you a picture of Flea, you'll know who I mean. That's them.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That
wasn't the face I was expecting to see.
He's in Back to the Future Part 2, I think.
He needs to calm down.
Okay. But everyone's got their own little storylines going on.
Yeah, is there 5 storylines going on, 5 main characters? Am I wrong?
I wouldn't. Yeah, but they're all sharing the majority of it.
Of the narrative, yeah. So you got Brad Pitt's character,
Mm-hmm.
Margot Robbie's. You've got
Manny. You got Sidney Palmer and
the burlesque lady singer.
The burlesque singer.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about her, but yeah.
They're the main 5 for me.
There's a critique as well. She's
the journalist.
Yeah. One of my biggest problems with it is that it never really focuses on one.
No.
It is trying to do too much.
Yeah.
This is why I mark it down 0.5 star. I always give this 4.5 star.
Okay, but you also gave Back to the Future 4.5 stars.
Yeah, Back to the Future isn't perfect.
But now you changed it to 5. Do you think Babylon could possibly tip into a 5-star rating for you?
And because A, there's too much going on, and B, there's a 20-minute section towards the end.
Tobey Maguire's
section. He's an executive producer on this.
Do you know what? I can kind of tell why.
Yeah, he's weird in this.
He is. To be honest, there's a good maybe 40 to 50 minutes of this that could just be cut.
It is far
straight away.
It is far too long.
And it's at the beginning and at the end.
Well, it starts with because it's the Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
Rawr.
They they show these sort of parties that they have? It's similar to Gatsby-esque.
Yeah, so it's supposed to show kind of like a very hedonistic Hollywood at the time.
Just a minute. I don't know what hedonistic means.
You don't?
No.
Hedonism, kind of.
I yep, saying that doesn't make any
No,
sense.
it's alright. It's a bit like debauched. So, sinning.
Oh, bad stuff.
All the bad stuff, yeah.
Oh.
So living to excess. So
So
drinks, drugs, sex.
This is what the Bloodhound Gang was singing about.
Yeah.
This is the bad touch.
This is a bad touch.
Okay, alright. I'm fully with you now. Debauchery. Is that what you said? Hedonism.
Hedonistic. I'm learning new words.
I've learnt a lot today.
Yeah.
Just that one thing.
Yeah. So it's basically this party which is just a massive fucking orgy. Is basically what it is.
Well, it starts with when I went to see it at the cinema. You saw it at the cinema as
I
well.
did, yeah.
Well, we have an interesting story about it because we were doing rehearsals for the producers, and I think I'd seen it the day before, and that we got talking about films. That's when we started talking. Like, oh, you should see this. You should see that.
Yeah.
And I like ran up to you and I was like, "You've got to go see Babylon." This is how I remember it in my head.
About this is not how it happened.
Okay. Well, it's my podcast.
It's my podcast. I'm your co-host.
I'm a choose that narrative. And I ran up to you, and I said, "You've got to see Babylon. You've got to see Babylon." Because no one was A, watching it, or B, enjoying it.
Yeah.
I was very much on my own. And you went to see it the next day?
I went to see it, I think, yeah, later on that week, and then we spoke about it at the next rehearsal the week after.
And you said you liked it.
I said I liked the last part of it. I think it ends quite strongly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's certain elements of it. Again, I like the whole movie, the different studio scenes, and I also like when Margot does her first talking picture.
Yeah.
I really like that sequence.
Me too.
But I think, again, for me, it just felt too long.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because some of it could have been cut out, and I also feel like they missed an opportunity with some of the storylines they decide to go down. For example, we'll probably get to a bit later.
Yeah.
The Tobey Maguire stuff should have all been cut. We didn't need any of that.
You didn't need it. I feel like
The characters were interesting enough without that.
I agree with that. That's a very good critique. I'm going to make a note of that on this imaginary pen and paper.
That you don't have, like, oh my god.
I've got the thing on this desk. But yeah, it does start with the orgies and stuff. Well, really, it starts with poop.
With the elephant farm.
They hire an elephant for the party, and Manny, who's a busybody about town, or he's just doing jobs for lots of people.
Like odd jobs, yeah.
But he's not anyone. He's not an established name.
No, it's quite an obscure character, isn't he?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm here, let Manny will do it, everyone get Manny.
Mm-hmm.
They hire this elephant and they have to push it up a hill in a trailer that's designed for a horse.
Yeah.
And it starts rolling back down the hill, and then there's a guy trying to push it, and the elephant, he does a big poop.
Did we need that?
Well,
Did we need the elephant shit scene?
Also, the close-up on the elephant's butt as well.
Did we need this?
When that happened, someone walked out of my screen. And
I'm
this
not
is
surprised.
This is what, 2 minutes in? And it's a 3-hour film. People were like, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah. I can see why, because I thought initially straight away, what the fuck am I looking at?
What's it there for?
I don't know. Unless it's just meant to shock, because obviously the sequence we then get afterwards, some of the images obviously are there to get people talking.
Yeah. The elephant does serve a purpose, I guess, because it's this fucking crazy party.
And it's the idea of, these elephants just chilling around this party having the best time.
Yeah, they literally just say, the elephant's going to walk in and you just got to go with it to the band. And the band's like, yeah, okay, for whatever.
All right, yeah.
There's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of sex happening. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. The way those people were moving as well, I thought, there ain't no way you're moving that quickly for more than 5 minutes and you're not knackered.
Well, they filmed during COVID.
Yeah.
I've watched some behind the scenes things.
Oh, I know, because I saw you doing it downstairs.
Oh, bloody hell! I'm watching this behind the scenes, actually, because I care about this one.
Yeah, you care wrongly.
Sorry to any other film I've done in this season that I've not watched the behind the scenes stuff. But they filmed during COVID, and this is a big party scene. So to do all that with all the COVID stuff going off, and then doing it take after take after take, mental.
Yeah, it's very frenzied, I'd say, is how it feels.
It's chaos, is what it is. It's really reflects well on a director that he can organise that, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it not get out of control. Because any other like bad director, let's say for instance, if Michael Bay did this, it would just be that.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
It's not a documentary. I don't think parties were like that. Sorry.
Do you think it is a bit too exaggerated?
Massively, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't like it, but I appreciate.
Of course,
the
because
effort.
you like boobs.
There's boobs in it, but
you can see a lot of boobies.
There's boobs in it, but there's elephants in it, and
They're my two favourite things.
And the Okay, I want to talk about the music.
The music
the
is great.
The entire film. Justin Horowitz, I think that's his name, did La La Land, did Whiplash and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here, this is his best work by far.
Okay.
Why didn't this win anything at the Oscars? Do you think it was too much Oscar bait?
Possibly. Sound, I think it should really have been there.
They made a joke at the Oscars on Babylon's Expense, and I didn't like it.
Oh no, which joke was that?
They were like, "Oh, where the Babylon people at?" And I was like, "Oh, that's not fair." They worked hard.
Do you think maybe it felt like the movie was trying too hard?
It was. It had a stacked cast. It was about... Hollywood likes films about Hollywood.
About Hollywood, yeah. I mean, that's why they liked La La Land so much.
Yeah, but La La Land was...
I mean, obviously it didn't win Best Picture.
Yeah.
But it did sweep in other areas. I mean, I don't understand how it won Best Costume, sorry.
La La Land?
Yeah.
Did it win Best Costume?
I'm pretty sure it did, yeah.
Oh, okay, alright.
So I remember looking at it thinking...
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure it did, yeah.
I'm not going to fact check you on it. I'm going to take your word for it. You know your costumes.
And you let me movie costume.
Speaking of costumes, what do you think of these ones?
I think as well, what's affected a lot of people when I've seen different reviews, and what was also swaying me not to see it initially, was the fact that obviously I'd seen the trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie is just so jarring in what she's wearing because she's not of the period. Nothing of what she's wearing is what you'd see a lady in the 1920s wearing.
Everyone else is okay.
Everyone else is normal costumes, and she's just completely out of it. So I suppose she takes me out a little bit when I see her.
There's a shot, I think you noticed it as well yesterday, where she's literally just walking to the camera and just looking into the camera, and it looks like a Margot Robbie perfume advert.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's nope.
No, so you don't get that kind of idea that she could have been in the 20s, whereas Brad Pitt is styled to look like somebody who lived at the time, and I think his story follows an actor who lived at the time as well.
He's going through for more of a not what's his name, Clark Gable-esque. This predates Clark Gable, but you know what I mean, like a Hollywood figure. He's top of his game when this film starts, and because it's the silent movies, he doesn't have to say anything. Margot Robbie is basically someone who just showed up
at the party. Yeah.
At the party, she's like, I want to be famous, I want to be an actor, and she just gets it. That might be far fetched, but that stuff like that still happens today.
Oh yeah, but people get picked out of nowhere.
Yeah. Do you know the story about Jennifer Lawrence? She was having a photo taken in like Times Square or something.
Yeah.
And a producer was just like, "I'll make her an actress."
Damn it!
So they've got these two people who are on different trajectories. I always struggle with that one.
Yeah.
In their careers, and obviously they've got this big event happening at some point in the near future: the invention of sound. Mm-hmm. Not sound, but like sound in movies.
And talking pictures. Yeah.
When it does get into the stuff where they're filming on the desert, and there's all these different sound stages, and it's Margot Robbie's first day on set, and she's got like so much instruction to do, and it's people with the like big megaphones sort of thing.
Yeah, that's where I think Margie. I like that. I think that's where Margot Robbie's at her best in that particular scene.
I think she's good throughout.
I think she completely steals it in that. That's where she really captured my attention in that bit.
I almost agree with you.
You should do though.
If it wasn't for the scene later on where they're doing the sound test.
Oh yeah, that's my second favourite scene. So.
But these sound stages in Hollywood, it's just how they did it. They had many films going on at once.
All at the same time.
They were waiting for a shot in one film, and then Brad Pitt's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go shoot another film. I'll be back in a minute." Mm-hmm. It's fucking bonkers, and I love it.
Yeah, because obviously they didn't have to worry about things like sound because they were all silent movies.
Uh-huh.
So really, all the directors had to do was to capture the images and to make sure they got the light.
Yeah.
That was it.
And like one of the cameras gets broken, so they're like, "Oh, go back and get a camera," and then come back and get another one.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and it's chaotic, and they've got to do it before the sun sets or whatever.
Yeah, to catch the light, and we get that really beautiful shot with Brad Pitt doing his love scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they're kissing on the battlefield. That's such a gorgeous scene, and it's obviously it keeps cutting back to Robbie.
Yeah.
It kind of shows that they're almost about to be at their peak.
Yeah. Well, this is this is the height of their adventure in the film. I want to say. Yeah.
I think Margot probably goes up after that, but then.
No, I don't think it does because. Oh, actually it does.
Because it's her first.
Because she's like the wild child, baby.
The wild child, yeah.
I think it's just a weird time. I don't know if any of this is true, but for instance, there's a news report and it's like, hey, Brad Pitt's character's going wild, baby, and some fans just kill herself because she loves him too much. Hey, that's the news in the 20s.
I don't know, it could be. I mean, look how crazy girls got when Take That split.
I don't think it's... actually, it's not far off, I guess.
Wasn't there a suicide hotline or something like that?
Was there a suicide hotline?
There was some sort of hotline for girls to call that were that devastated by them.
Call 0800 back for good.
Have some patience. Yeah.
Then the invention of sound comes along and fucking jazz singer. Believe.
Yeah, The Jazz Singer was the movie that changed everything.
Mm-hmm. After the Al Jolson.
Like, yeah.
I quite like... Have you seen The Jazz Singer?
I haven't, no.
It's really quite good.
I do want to watch it, to be fair.
Yeah, not the Neil Diamond one, like the actual...
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this.
Oh, thank God. But then they go, okay, the studios have got this new thing and they don't know how to use it, really.
Yeah. All they know is that The Jazz Singer's completely come out of nowhere, taken everything by storm.
Yeah.
And we all need to be getting in on that because that's where the money is.
Studios, they know what to do. But they have to do it quick. They have to put out these talkies.
Talkies really quickly.
Yeah. We've had the walkies.
Now it's the time for the talkies.
It's time for the talkies. There's a wonderful scene where it's in a sound stage, and then there's the stage, and there's a microphone at the top. Margot Robbie's got a cue to hit. They've got the sound tech, which they're still playing about with, not sure how to use. They've got this hot box of a cinematography.
That's just getting hotter and hotter.
It's getting hotter and hotter. This poor guy just has to stay in there.
And they keep throwing him back in. Get back in!
Yeah. And they don't know how Margot Robbie's voice sounds like. She's very New Jersey-esque.
Yeah. It reminded me of Lena Lamont from
Singing
in the Rain. Yeah.
I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
But this all ties in. Yeah. We'll get to it. But she's never had to learn lines before. She's really struggling with the lines. She walks out onto the stage and she's speaking too loud. They go again. She walks onto the stage, she's speaking too quiet. It goes again. It goes on for about 15 minutes, this. Mm-hmm. It's marvellous. If the film had started when they were just doing all the big set thing, and we didn't have any of the party stuff, would you enjoy this film more?
To be honest, the party stuff, maybe just cut the fucker down. It didn't need to be as long as it was. It just felt like it was very in your face.
But watching it yesterday...
He was trying to gauge a reaction out of me, and it's like, I want to be able to enjoy it without feeling like... I don't know.
It does feel dirty.
And you feel grimy.
Yeah.
Watching it.
Yeah. But they finally get like these talkies going, and Margot Robbie, they realise that it doesn't quite work for her, and with Brad Pitt, he's having trouble with it as well.
Which is what happens to a lot of the silent stars. They're having to learn a completely different craft.
Yeah, and not all of them...
Well, I don't think a lot of them did they? I think a few might have transitioned well, but even those that did start to transition well, audiences then started to see them as old-fashioned.
Well, even Chaplin obviously famously did physical comedy and silent films and whatnot, and it was wonderful. And then he did films like The Great Dictator, where he had speeches and stuff. People always go, oh, those films aren't as good. They're still pretty good, but they're not as good as what came before. And even Chaplin struggled, and he's the master of his craft. Yeah,
because they're having to completely have a whole new way of acting. They've had to use their facial expressions and their bodies previously. Now they're having to keep an eye on where the microphone is, how to project their voices. That's where theatre stars did better in this era. Yeah.
They do mention that theatre stars do better. Brad Pitt starts dating a thespian.
An actress, yeah.
And she's like teaching him how to speak properly and stuff. And we'll get to what Margot does in a minute. But they go, okay, while we're sort of waiting to do these talkies, let's do music. Music works good. So this is when Sidney Palmer, the jazz musician, his star begins to rise.
Yeah.
And his story is quite really upsetting.
Yeah, I think it is quite upsetting. It can be quite triggering, probably.
Yeah,
for some people.
I'd agree. But I'd say he's the only one that makes it out of this with any shred of dignity.
Oh no, I think him and Manny do. I think they both manage to get out a little bit.
I don't think Manny does.
Oh, I think he does.
Manny fucks it up.
But he gets out. He doesn't completely lose himself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but he's too invested in what Margot Robbie's doing. Nelly.
I think he is for a part of it. And to be
Yeah.
honest, I found that annoying after a bit.
Yeah, because he's really trying to help her and she's just not getting it. She's coked up most of the time.
Yeah.
She's partying. When it comes to the parties, they are used as a sort of plot device. Where the first one, it's chaos, but it's exciting and
It's inviting you into this world.
and it's lively. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The next one after that is the one where she's bitten by the rattlesnake, and it's sort of the wheels are starting to come off a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then there's another party, and it's like it's prim and proper, and it doesn't quite work. And then
that's done on purpose, isn't it?
yeah, all of this it's slowly progressing into this filth that we get with Tobey Maguire's one, and it's like this is a party. So the guy
I don't see it that way, because obviously the kind of everything we know about the Roaring Twenties, where people obviously we just had a war, we just had Spanish flu, people were wanting to get out and have fun.
Yeah.
So there probably were parties and stuff. It probably did exist.
Mm-hmm.
Not as crazy as what we see in Babylon, but then with the rise of talking pictures and that sort of thing, theatre actors, audiences that went to theatre. Because I think initially silent movies were seen to be kind of for the poor, and going to the theatre was for the upper class.
Yeah.
Musicals was a way to get the upper class into the theatre. So obviously then you get the big 5 movie studios that came out, because obviously the Depression killed off the smaller ones. And like MGM was all about being clean cut and prim and proper.
Yeah.
So you kind of see all that change. So the actors had to almost become that as well.
This is why you're the co-host.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, well done. When it comes to Brad Pitt's character, he's going, I'm not getting as much work, or if I'm getting work, it's not as good. And he goes to meet the journalist character, because she writes a piece on him, and it's an article that says, I forget his name, but is Brad Pitt's character through? And he's like, and he goes to her and he says, well, we've been friendly. We always scratch each other's back, but this is on another level. You've upset me. What are you doing this for? And she goes on this big speech. It's really wonderful.
Oh, the cockroach.
The cockroach
speech.
thing, yeah. When the house is burning down, people like you who are in the limelight will just fall and crumble. But it's the cockroaches like us, the journalists and the critics and stuff, that will just stay in the shadows, and then once everything's fine, we're okay. People like you are going to fall by the wayside.
Why do you think that is?
Because that's what happened. I think it's a wonderful metaphor.
Do we still see it now?
I think it's different now. I think with all the stuff with it's a different world. I don't think it's completely gone. I think there are some stars who just disappear. But then the internet's such a weird thing where we have meme culture. So, for instance, Nicolas Cage. Let's go Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I think he's quite a good one.
Right. So he was Oscar winner, big star, whatever, action hero. Then he started really disappearing. And then he was doing loads of independent movies. And people were memeing the hell out of him, Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And his star rose again. People back then didn't have any of that. So if they fell into obscurity, they're gone.
Yeah, and it can be hard for people who've been so used to that limelight and being told that you're amazing all the time.
But then she says, this is bigger than you. This is bigger than you, Brad Pitt. She says,
The Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt is bigger than you, Brad. God, fuck. And she says, these films will live forever. You're going to die. A kid's going to pick up one of your films, put it on, and you're going to be alive again. Yeah. In 50 years or so, you'll have took your last breath. You'll have took your last breath way before he's taken his. and you'll be partying with the ghosts of what was before, and you'll live on that way. And in his head, he goes, oh, "Okay, I'm done.
I'm done. This is for it now." And that was really sad how it ended for him like that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Well, okay, spoiler alert from now because we've not really spoiled anything.
Yeah.
Also, no one watched Babylon. Hopefully, if people listen to this,
They might go and fucking watch it.
if you like Babylon, just like get in touch because
Only James likes it.
only I like it, and it's not fair.
No, I appreciate parts of it, but I feel like they missed out on being able to do more with it.
Yeah,
personally.
no. I do see both. I understand why it didn't do as well. I understand why some people don't like it. Mm-hmm. I think I can't stress this enough. I think this is a masterpiece. The elephant shit and the Tobey Maguire bit, that rhymes, aside, gold.
Yeah.
I really think this was misunderstood this year, and it should have got nominated for more.
Yeah.
Particularly some of the cinematography and the performances.
Yeah.
Certainly the music. Fucking hell.
The music, I think, was robbed.
Yeah. When it comes to Brad Pitt's character, he, one of his friends who's been there throughout his career, and the first person who told him he had talent, kills himself, and then he starts feeling sad, and people are more upset that Brad Pitt has had a flop than Brad Pitt has lost a friend. So no one cares about Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
It is really sad, and then he meets the lady at the party.
I keep forgetting her name.
Lady LaRue or something.
It's the cabaret lady.
The cabaret lady,
I know her. The cabaret lady.
And they have a nice one-to-one, and she's going, "I'm going to Europe." It's
because she's been kind of kicked out of the industry as well.
Well, she has a side thing where she has a relationship with Margot Robbie, and the head of the studio goes, "You cannot be dating." Like,
yeah, because again,
we have a big star on our hands. You've got to go. Sorry, but that's how it is. Is that still around today?
It probably is. Like, obviously, people have got publicists, and they won't have, like, there'll be certain things they won't like. I mean, I think we still get showmancers and stuff like that. I wonder if people are told who they shouldn't be dating.
Let's go with the the Ezra Miller situation.
Okay.
There are obviously people in high places in these big studios that go, okay, we've got to keep this in check.
Yeah.
Stuff like this still does happen.
Yeah.
It's a fucking weird world we live in right now.
Yeah.
But they go, oh, okay. They sort of live these people's lives for them.
Yeah. And kind of like, especially MGM, they really had such a tight grip on people's lives. I mean, when you kind of look up, and when we start to change into talking pictures, when you get like the rise of the musicals, Judy Garland, you think about people like her were treated by these studios. That could have been a really interesting way they could have gone about it. That we had all this addiction and stuff beforehand, and it just continued on.
Yeah.
They could have gone with something like that.
They didn't.
They didn't. They went instead. They wanted some fucking weird ass side plot with Tobey Maguire being a twat. Oh my god, I'm so mad.
When it comes to Manny, he's gone from being a busybody to being basically head of a studio.
Yeah, he's literally risen, hasn't he?
That's fucking odd. You would never do that these days.
No.
What a time to be alive.
What a time.
Sidney Palmer, the jazz musician, he has a interesting storyline because when he's put to film and he's doing a solo, he's a black actor, but when he's doing the solo and the lights are on him, on camera he appears white, or they say like you appear you don't stand out as much. I mean, so they make him black up, and he puts this makeup on his face. Yeah, and it's quite hard to watch.
It's really difficult to watch. I feel like it's very well acted.
Yeah, it was wonderfully acted.
Yeah.
And at that point, he does this one film, but then he realizes I've
sold myself out.
I'm not going to sell my soul for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave with my dignity, and I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
And honestly, he's the only one that makes it out of this. I would think.
I mean, that's shocking, isn't it? If that was a genuine thing where Southern audiences are going to want you to look like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really horrible.
The 20s, 30s.
Yeah, weird time.
Weird time. when it gets to Margot Robbie, obviously they try to do a My Fair Lady on her.
Yes.
Doesn't work.
No.
She goes mental at a party.
Yeah.
That's Margot Robbie going off. She's great.
She looks great in that particular scene as well. I feel like that's where she starts to look more like a 20s actress. I think we get the bob and the...
Well, I think it's weird that they hire Samara Weaving as her counterpart earlier in the film, and then they make her look like Samara Weaving's actress.
In that particular, in that particular scene.
I was like, what? They're the same actor!
It's the same person.
But she goes off on this party. She doesn't like the prim and proper people.
No, she finds it very pretentious.
Yeah, and she struggles with gambling, and she struggles with drugs still. She's constantly taking drugs.
She's trying to hold on to that party lifestyle.
Yeah.
And she also can't get away from the fact that her star isn't shining as brightly anymore.
But she can't move on from those...
From that time.
From those high times. Manny's trying everything, by the way. He's going, okay, we're going to do this My Fair Lady shit with you, and hopefully it works. And then, you know, people are going to like you and your star's going to rise again. And she's like, yeah, that's great, but let me just do a line of cocaine first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not listening, Margot.
So you're not listening to this. I feel, personally, do you feel like he does it for too long?
Yes, he does, but he loves her. He genuinely loves her.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't tell her that until very late on. At which point, like, you know, you should have said that earlier, man.
Yeah, should have made it known.
Yeah, if you got life's too short, share your feelings. But I think that's an interesting thing, because earlier in the film, she's like, oh, I'm just gonna dance into the night, and no one's ever gonna hear from me again, and I'll live my time. And that's exactly what happens to her.
Mm-hmm.
She gets into trouble with these drug people, and they say, "Oh, we owe them 85 grand. I haven't got it, but I owe them 85 grand." And Manny tries to help her. Turns out this is where we get the side plot with Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, we didn't need any of this.
None of this was necessary.
No,
and I agree with you. Toby's good. It's nice to see him let loose a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we just saw him as Spider-Man, so it was nice to see him be.
It's nice to see him working.
It is nice to see him working.
Yeah.
Last film I saw him in was Cats and Dogs, and he played Lou.
I've not seen Cats and Dogs in years.
It's fucking awesome. It's one of my favourites.
Well, of course, because you like shit movies.
I do like poop movies.
I love Dial Destiny.
I don't like Dial Destiny.
You love it?
No, don't put it out there. Don't manifest it, because I will end up liking it. But the whole plot, he's like this sort of drug lord, I guess, but he wants to make movies. So Manny goes to him with some fake money, which is a problem, because they owe him 85 grand and it's fake. And he's like, oh, Tobey Maguire's like, come to this party. You know, it's the underbelly of LA. And they go down into this tunnel, and it just keeps going down and down and down into these fucking... I don't even know how to explain it.
I don't know. Again, I'm trying to mentally block all that shit out of my head.
There's an alligator there. There's a guy that eats rats in there. He's a fucking big guy. There's loads of like sex and happening and orgies and stuff, and there's fighting, and it's grotesque and it's muddy and it's grimy. Ugh.
Oh.
Not nice, guys. Not nice, Toby's.
No, that's not nice, Toby.
Yeah. He realises the money's fake, and they chase Manny out, and Manny is then chased by the drug people.
Mm-hmm.
And he begs for his life. He's like, oh, please, you know, help me, and like, let me go. They let him go, and he's like, don't ever show your face in LA again.
Yeah.
So he goes to grab Margot. He says, right, we're going to Mexico.
Yeah, marry me.
Marry me, we're going to Mexico. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. She, again, coked off her tits.
Yeah.
And she then goes, okay, as you go get our bags and stuff, I'm just going to get out of the car and waltz into the night. And she just disappears.
Yeah. And then
quite a beautiful ending for her.
It is. It's really sad, but again, I think it's something that we saw, and sadly, it's something we still see with people.
Oh yeah, actually.
It's still very, very poignant, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, how many stars shine really brightly and then they end really quickly?
Some of the bloody brightest stars shine the briefest, baby. I don't know what I said there.
I don't know, but it was beautiful.
Thank you.
I like that. I like your voice.
But then we get loads of stuff. Brad Pitt commits
Suicide.
Shoots himself. He's done. Everyone's done.
Hey, everyone's been killed by talking pictures.
Sidney Palmer still plays music, but it's in underground jazz bands. But he's enjoying his...
Yeah, he's enjoying his life. He's back into kind of obscurity, but
Yeah.
he's got out.
Meanwhile, this other wave of actors are coming along. These Judy Garland's, James Cagney's, and...
Very clean cut, very wholesome.
Yeah. And they bloody sound terrific, baby.
They have a great... I love the sound.
Oh, you like all that stuff?
I really like it. To me, it's very nostalgic and cute. I love it.
I have a question. How the fuck did James Stewart get any work with a voice like that?
I don't know.
Does he always sound, I'm going to throw you like you want the moon, say the word, I'll throw a letter around and put it down.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah. Bonkers that you got any work with that, but...
No, but that film's
But you get the crackle of the audio on these sort, playing it on VHS.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, it's nice.
Oh, it's such nice movies. But again, it's all a very different time because we then get a merge of some of the theatre audiences and now watching movies. It becomes more
artistic,
yeah.
They...
It's sad that we lost quite a lot of smaller studios around that time.
Yeah. But some of these films aren't... I say some of these films, we don't know because some of them would have been lost. But the ones that have been restored and stuff, really some of them hold up story-wise. Yeah. Some of them are really good.
Like what? Any particular that you like?
I can't think of any off my head.
That's because there isn't any that you like.
I quite like the train. I like the train that comes at the camera, and everyone was like, "Whoa, not the train!"
What did they say? No, they didn't.
Whoa! So, but anyway.
Whoa!
They skip ahead. You get newspapers coming up saying, "Oh, the talkies are in, baby. Technicolor is a thing." And then, like, in the corner of it says, Nellie LaRue found dead at 32. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Margot Robbie was never 32 in this film.
No, she wasn't, no.
But also really sad that her character is just reserved for this tiny little article.
Yeah.
Oh, it's upsetting, but it's how the industry was and probably still is. Yeah. Oh, it's so great. This is why I like this film. I really do.
What's really sad, I think, as well, but we don't see it as much in that. I think it's some of the stars that we have lost, where it's all they have their time in the limelight. They kind of fall off into obscurity, but then when they die, it's all like, oh my god, this person was the best, and all their stuff starts coming out, and it's like, why couldn't we just appreciate them when they were alive?
Yeah, or when their work was relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, it skips ahead to 1952.
Mm-hmm.
This is maybe 20 years, and Manny has a family.
And she's got a little shop.
Little girl, yeah. He's got a little radio shop. And he comes back to LA for the first time and he takes his daughter to the studio and she's like, I'm bored of this.
Can I just say, wouldn't it be so good if Tobey Maguire was just there like, I've been waiting for you.
I'm Tobey Maguire.
Now, that'd be something.
That would have been a good twist,
That'd
wouldn't
have been quite a good twist.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Like, I've been waiting for you all this time.
Waiting for you. I told you to stay out of LA, baby. But his daughter's bored. She goes back to the hotel. He hangs about the studio for a bit, but then goes to catch a film. The film he watches, as luck would have it, bloody Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain of all things, which is about talking pictures.
The rise of talking pictures. And he goes to Singing in the Rain, and he sits there and he watches it. And obviously, I don't know Singing in the Rain as well, but there's a character who doesn't sound well.
Lena Lamont,
and she has to do the My Fair Lady stuff. But then he realises that is Margot Robbie's character, and all of this has happened.
Yeah.
To him, and he's gone, oh, this is really...
It's like they've glamorised.
They made a joke out of it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously what happened to some of those stars was quite serious. Obviously some did commit suicide. That did happen.
Singing in the Rain probably isn't the best film to show it off.
No, so I mean, it glamorises the whole... Because we've got a big love story, haven't we, with Gene Carley's character.
Yeah.
Deborah Reynolds,
But then there's an interesting shot. Well, there's an interesting last
montage.
10 minutes. Some bloody montage. This is fantastic. I love this ending.
Tell me why you love it so much.
I just the message. I don't always understand the message in movies. I just don't. I'm not built that way in my head. It takes me a while. But here, I got it exactly the same time Manny got it.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that the journalist was saying is like, all of this outlives you, and it's going to be there when you're gone, and no one's going to care about you, but this is bigger than you. Manny realises this split second.
Yeah.
And all of that is reflected in this Singing in the Rain montage. And it's like... And I was like, oh, God. The whole point is that none of... Any of that matters. It's what... The industry is just so big now. It's out of control. Like,
yeah. What did you notice about the movies it showed?
It was... I do know this. It showed clips from films where there were like pinpoints where technology had advanced.
And these were movies that changed.
That changed
everything,
cinema.
really.
Yeah, basically. You had don't know the name of the film, but it's the moon with a rocket in its eye.
Like Casablanca.
Was Casablanca in there? I haven't seen Casablanca. But the train coming forward. And then, obviously, fucking Wizard of Oz.
With the Technicolor.
They open the door, it's Technicolor. Yeah. This is your way into the land of colour.
Yeah.
And then it's things, then it goes a bit visual. But then it goes Raiders of the Lost Ark. It goes Tron. It goes...
The Matrix.
It goes Jurassic Park, The Matrix. And then Avatar, which was weird because this was Avatar was playing the same time Babylon was. So I was like, oh...
It wouldn't be White Water though, would it?
No, but...
Why have they got that footage?
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like these movies are just going to keep evolving.
Yeah.
Technology is going to evolve and we're going to get bigger, better stories. It's bigger than you, Manny.
Yeah, and sadly actors have got to evolve with it, otherwise...
Into obscurity.
Yep.
With the rest of them. I think it's really a wonderful love letter to cinema and how powerful cinema can be. But at the cost of people's livelihoods, really.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's why you love it so much? Because you are such a big lover of cinema and movies that you think that you...
That I get it. Also, I really appreciate the...
Boobs.
Not boobs. The clips that they showed in that montage.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, shit. Tron, finally getting some fucking love.
If I hadn't have had that ending sequence, I'd have hated this film. Mm-hmm. Because I'd have just thought it's just so pushed to excess. They've missed out on so many things they could have done.
Yeah.
I mean, even the two scenes that I loved couldn't have saved it. But that ending, it made it a more of a passable mid-film for me. Mm-hmm. I don't bum it as much as you do.
I do bum it. But then it cuts back to Manny on this after this montage, and he's been crying because he's upset about everything he's gone through. But then he's gone, oh, I am part of a bigger thing. Yeah. I've helped in this journey. And then he smiles and then the film ends. I just think... I sat there when the film finished for about 10 minutes and I was just like, oh, movies are great.
Did you cry or get tearful in it?
No, I didn't cry.
Because we know you get emotional.
I do get emotional. Don't get...
I do cry. I mean, we cried, didn't we, twice during Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, though, isn't it?
But I didn't know if you might have found this really moving.
No, I don't think it's as moving or as well done as Singing in the Rain. I don't think it's as moving as the artist. The artist is really quite nice as well. Yeah. I don't think there was anything as good. There's a scene in The Artist where the silent movie star has a nightmare and he can hear everything. Mm. And you can hear footsteps and stuff, and he's screaming, he can't make any noise. And then there's a leaf just falling down from a tree, and it's all in silence, and then the leaf lands on the floor, and it just goes boom, like that. And it's the loudest effect. That little leaf landing on there had more effect than any of Babylon did. Yeah. We've all sat on The Artist a bit too long. We should all revisit The Artist.
Yeah, revisit. I need to watch The Artist.
It's really great.
Yeah, like I said, I ended up watching this weird dog film, and it does exist, and I'm going to find it and prove it for you.
I don't think it does.
It really bloody does.
But I don't think it's as good as Singing in the Rain. I don't think it's as good a love letter as La La Land was, which is one of Chazelle's previous works.
Yeah, like I said, La La Land for me, I watched it the first time on an aeroplane. You're getting all these additional stories that you've not asked for. And I remember thinking, fuck, is this going on forever?
We shouldn't watch it on an airplane.
I was like, oh, no, because I'm scared of flying. I thought I need to have something to take my mind off stuff.
Right.
This didn't. It really didn't. And I was like, oh my god, this is crap. Then I rewatched it and thought, this is kind of alright. I've had to watch it several times to really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think maybe Babylon will, but it's just a running time for me. It's just way too long.
It is too long. You can cut 20 minutes out, but I do think
20?
Maybe half hour.
40 at least.
But there's enough stuff here to be the perfect love letter to cinema.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it's as good as Singing in the Rain, nor will it ever be. For a look. Oh, okay, yeah, Belle and Sebastian. Yeah, Belle and Sebastian. That's the name of the band, Scottish band.
It's not it's not about that.
Okay, right, fine. Anyway, but yeah, I don't. Its message, it does get lost in the chaos of the first act and a little bit towards the end, but overall,
a little bit towards the end.
well, it took him quite a bit, yeah.
Or massively towards the end.
Fucking loses it. It loses it. I said that, but then it pulls it back with this wonderful last 5 minutes. For me personally.
I don't think this is as good as you think it is.
I can't see. I can see the faults, but I just don't
You
get
can't.
it.
You can't see the faults.
Like, I watched the same film that the Academy watched. I'd have nominated this for Best Picture for sure. Over some things that were nominated that year. I forget which ones. Off the top of my head. But, do you know what I mean? I think it was shunned by the Academy.
Yeah, and again, I think it just tried a little bit too hard. And maybe that was what was picked up on.
Yeah.
No one likes it when you try too hard.
I like it when The Greatest Showman tries too hard and doesn't win anything. But this tries too hard, and I'm like, what?
To be honest, The Greatest Showman tried way too hard.
Yeah, it didn't.
I'm glad that didn't do as well. I'm sorry, that's probably a really horrible thing to say.
No, I agree. But this deserved more, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been laughed at the Oscars.
No, it shouldn't have been laughed at. I feel like they could have, they had such a great idea, they could have just ran with something so much better, and they didn't.
Yeah. Better than Space Jam for you?
It's better than Space Jam, but not by much.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got a bit of a kicker for you, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I straight up do. I think this is top tier. One of the best.
It is not, but okay.
I respectfully disagree.
I don't respectfully disagree.
This is one of my favourite films this year, if you go in January to December.
But it's not one of your favourites on that box?
No. That would be insane. I'm not going to put Babylon in my top 4.
Why?
It's not one of my favourite films. It's 3 fucking hours.
3 hours long.
3 hours. Yeah?
Yeah, no, I get you.
I get you. Agree to disagree on this one.
No, I'm clearly right. And I'm going to be interested to see what people think.
I really want people to like get in touch with us on this one, because this is one I care about.
Yeah. Do people think this was a little bit excessive?
I don't think it's for everyone. I think the film makes it quite clear in the first 5 minutes it's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. But if you have the patience and the stomach to push through it, there's good stuff here, and it's a good love letter to cinema. It's just a shame that it got lost.
If you want something to watch to go to sleep to.
Well,
no, this film won't send you to sleep. That's one thing it won't do, because the music's fire.
Oh, the music's fucking good.
The music will keep you engaged in it.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
And I will fight for Babylon.
You fight for Babylon.
I'm on your side.
You fight for it.
I got Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt.
That's because you love those two.
I do love those two. I think they're really good, and I like the director as well, Damien Chazelle. After like Whiplash was great. La La Land was great. Both of those were big successes. First Man, his Neil Armstrong film, didn't do as well, and this one didn't do well. Is his star on the decline?
Ooh, I don't know. But one thing I was going to ask, are you going to think about reviewing, doing a podcast for like La La Land or Whiplash?
I think that's eventually going to happen. I think that'll be a good, nice double bill, because I think they came out that same year.
Double bill them together.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's Babylon.
That's Babylon. I'm glad I've not had to watch another 3 hours of that, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad I don't have to edit 3 hours of this. We could have done a commentary on it.
We could have done a commentary, but we love people too much to do that to them.
We'd have done it in gaps. That's the thing. I can start and record.
Oh, okay. Do you think the Biscuits and Blurays podcast could go into some commentary?
Yes.
Oh, like how you were just like, yes.
Yes, I straight up thought about it.
What would you like to do commentary for?
Space Jam.
Just Space Jam.
Yeah, just that one. I think maybe Space Jam. I think you want to do something that's going to get people listening to you over the film. So maybe bad stuff.
People like the bad stuff, don't they?
People like the bad stuff. So maybe people might enjoy this.
Yeah.
I like this film so much.
Oh, I know you like it, but you are wrong.
But please get in touch. Let us know what you think to Babylon.
Yes, let us know.
A wise man once said, "Let go of your heart, let go of your head, and fair enough, Babylon."
I was thinking he was going to do By the Rivers of Babylon.
I could have done that, but I went David Gray.
I know, but that's, yeah. So Babylon, it appears in so many songs.
Thanks for talking to me about this one.
You're very welcome.
I'm sorry it was Babylon and not Puss in Boots.
I know, I'm very sad.
We'll do Puss in Boots eventually, don't worry about it.
I know, I'm sad as well, because I did picks, guys, for this Sunday stack, and they weren't even, like, close to winning, and it makes me feel bad.
No offence, they didn't get a vote.
Yeah, Pet Sematary got votes.
Well, Pet Sematary got one vote.
Well, I will down that hill.
And I think that was you.
It wasn't me. Then it'd have had 2.
See you next week.
See you
Next week.
next week.